William Ritz.
Here.
John Stewart.
Here.
Diane Downing. Zachary Paulson.
First off, thank you guys for coming tonight. Benson Board has joined us tonight to discuss the future of transfer station and what's going on there. So at this time, we'd like to open up public comment, get things started, go around the room and see what some public comments are, and hopefully keep it limited kind of to the transfer station. We have a meeting next Monday night if anybody wants to talk about other things other than what's going on up here. So get started, go around the room, I guess. If you want to say anything, I'd like to just state the name. That's the only thing I'm going to ask.
No.
How's that? Okay. All right, we'll go across. So Tracy Eldridge is here, Highway Superintendent for Hamilton County. Thank you for coming.
Yep.
I'm going to say some words later on and here to answer some questions.
Yeah, if something comes up, just help. I'm here to help if I can.
Yep, all right. We'll jump back down. You have anything? Yep. Charles?
Just here to listen.
All right, good? No. Okay. All right, back up. Anybody? Nobody? All right, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm Bonnie Preston, and I'd like to thank you all for having us up here and opening and making it open to the community so we can come and hear the information that's going to be shared about the transfer station.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
you.
Thank you for coming. Yeah. Dave?
Nothing directly that involves Hope. I have a lot to say what involves Benson, but I'll save that for
Okay.
Benson's meeting.
John?
John M. Stortecki, Town of Hope, former supervisor, Town of Benson, and member of the board of Benson since 2011. I want to thank Steve for showing up at the Town of Benson meeting. It was excellent. There was a great turnout. I want to give a special thanks to Mr. Dave Rogers, sitting to my right, and Mr. Tim Clemenson, who lives down by the town barn, for two of the best presentations in public comment that I had ever heard at a town meeting. And it really set the stage and spelled out a lot of critical details that are going to be important going forward when you discuss the 2027 contract.
Okay, thank you, John. All right, so let's move forward here and kind of get to the nuts and bolts of what we're here for. So we had a discussion, a meeting a couple months ago, right? Benson Town Board up, kind of an ongoing thing to see what was going on, how we can move forward and do better in the highway department and in the transfer station. I think we're getting we got kind of sidetracked to things that were happening in the highway department than things that were happening in the transfer station. And I feel like moving forward, we need to separate the two, leave the highway matters over here and discuss the transfer station matters. So we, as a board, met and we worked through some issues that we had, and we discussed some of the issues, and I know it didn't all go that great, because kind of he said, she said kind of stuff. I'd like to stay away from that tonight, and kind of move forward in the direction of the transfer station stuff. That's kind of why we're all here. So we met as a board, our board, the Town Hope Board, and we came up with some figures that we thought that were fair to Hope and Benson. And in those numbers, to give you guys kind of a backdrop of what we're talking about, the numbers meaning transfer station costs for the year, and including in that is costs that we have for sand and salt. The Town of Benson comes to our facility and stores their sand and salt, uses the loader, and they also store their fuel in here. So we have over the years broken down these costs in the separate line items, and kind of to make things easier throughout the years, we kind of morph this all into one kind of contract, but it's all broken down in different pages or different stages as we go through. So the transfer station agreement is always the front couple pages. Then we have Benson agreement for fuel usage, sand and salt, housing the sand and salt, and the loader usage throughout the years. So this year, we really have had no issues with the transfer station and with Benson using our facility. We haven't raised the cost of any of our things that we've done throughout the last 4 years, we haven't shared those costs with Benson. We've had, every year we've had increases in salaries, increases in insurance, increases in fuels, and we've kind of held it flat. Is it, well, probably not the best thing to do, but kind of talking to Phil throughout the last few years, trying to be easy. I know you guys are struggling. We went through the kind of the debacle, in my opinion, with purchasing the truck a few years ago. We have always notoriously in town of Hope saved money and budgeted money to purchase a new roll-off truck, which we both shared in that cost over the years. Benson will pay for half the truck and Hope will write check for half the truck. We went through some issues a few years ago. The roll-off truck that we had was only 5, 6 years old. It was down for at least 6 months out of the 12 months of the year. So we had to replace the truck. We had no other choice. So came to Benson with a proposal that we need to purchase a new truck. They didn't have the money at the time to pay for their half, so the town of Hope took it upon ourselves. We had to replace the truck and purchase the entirety of the truck for $141,000. So we kind of at that point changed.
You said it was 141,000 feet.
Is that what was that? It was
Well, I thought it was 144.
140.
We never really knew for sure what the truck was. 144.
I don't have those numbers. That was about 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So anyway, we ended up purchasing the truck because Benson said that they had no money to cover the cost of half the truck. So we did that. So in doing that, you guys asked us to figure that price of that truck into our contract. We made it kind of a contractual expense at that point. So we figured out how much it would be. Both towns agreed that it was going to be $10,000 into the contract for the usage of the truck per year going forward. And then we would have to revisit that in the future if the costs went up, which we do usually every year, but we haven't done that in a few years. So that changed kind of the dynamic of the truck portion of it, made it into a contractual expense, part of the whole contract as far as the transfer station. So get back to the point where we're at with the expenses for the transfer station for this year. Proposed changes for 2027, the contract is going to be, we have proposed $57,394.28. The previous contract was $51,938.28, a difference of $5,450. So that also equals out to a 2% increase over the last four years, about $1,200 per year. So, in my opinion, I don't think we've discussed this at the board level or with the board. I don't think there's any movement on that. I don't think it's too much to ask for. It's a 2% increase. Where I think things went wrong, and I think why we're here today is because we had some issues with our building, had some issues with the equipment, with the loader. So we as a board had figured out a new number because it wasn't working out. If we have to replace the loader, we need to have to raise that fee for loader usage. So the new fee became from $3,000 went to $14,000. As Zach figured out. So the truck that we paid for was $146,559.32. Just thanks, Zach.
Yeah.
So Zach figured out how much it would be to rent a new loader because we had some serious damage to ours this year, serious repairs that need to be done that we just finished with the repairs. Figured out how much a rental would be, just so we could have some numbers moving forward. For a 6-month rental, it was, Zach, correct me if I'm wrong, 30-some.
Yeah, so off from the county bid tabulations, same size loader as ours, it was about $5,600 a month. So multiply that by 6, because that's about what we get for winters now, it's about 6 months.
So what we did was took that fee and cut it in half. It was gonna be about, if we want to replace the loader, then in the future, it's gonna cost each town $14,000 a year. But we purchased the last loader, what did it say, 2018? 2020. So we have to look forward as a board, make plans, budget our tax money accordingly, and that's something that we need to do. Doesn't mean you guys have to do it. You guys have your own equipment. You guys can bring up your own loader. So this is just something that we went over as a board. We also should keep this separate from the transfer station. So I don't know where you guys are at. In my thoughts today, talking with Zach, maybe we leave the contract alone for the sand and salt. I know you guys do need to house your sand and salt here still. I haven't really heard. But if we left the contract alone and you guys brought up your own equipment to load your own trucks, I think, and that will eliminate any kind of issues moving forward with the two highway departments working together and sharing equipment until we can figure out something moving forward better than that. Unless anybody has any other ideas or better ideas, we're kind of open to discussion. I know we want to move things forward. We don't want to lose Benson as a partner with the transfer station. It's kind of the last thing that we want to do. So we'd like to move forward in the best way that we can move forward. And I kind of want to hear your guys' thoughts.
I think we'd like separate contracts, but I would like this for us to, if we're gonna go with the whole, I would like to have the transfer station, we pay the truck off this year, and I'd like to have it as on a separate budget. Because we really don't know what exactly, we don't see the bills, we don't see the invoices. It'd be fair that it goes on the taxes, and then we become a district, and we'll pay our truck off, and we'll have probably 3 members from Hope on the board and 2 from Benson because of the population, and have your own budget, and have your own fund balance at the end, and it's fair. The taxpayer pays it, and you can lower your taxes. I would be able to lower my taxes because we're taking this out of my budget.
I am totally not for that.
And we're not building a great big firehouse. We'll be there for years to come.
No.
Diane, I'd like to speak to the.
I just feel a district is a lot of money to start, and then you're taxing everybody on the value of their houses. Is that what you're trying to do?
No, we're trying to support a
Right,
transfer
but
station.
a district, when you budget for a district, people get billed by how much their houses are worth. And I don't feel that because your house is worth more than this house, we should pay more for garbage. I'm not going to use more garbage than a house that has 7 people in it. I only have 3 in my house. Why should I pay more because my house is worth more than yours?
I see what you're saying.
So, no, no, we're not having that happen. No, that's not even.
Tracy, would you like to?
Well, I'm not sure. 5 years, Benson is averaging 167 tons of solid waste. Hope is averaging 252. It's pretty, the county as a whole is hauling 6,000 tons out annually to the bulk kind. So the county too is not interested in hurting any of the towns, honestly. I mean, we're trying to do solid waste as efficiently and as cost effectively as possible. And we're going to be working out some stuff at the county level too this year. But I'm not sure what, because it already is coming through your taxes. You're paying through everybody in the county is paying through the county tax or how we're billing each town in the county bus for solid waste. You're paying that through land taxes. Does that?
Yeah, I understand that, yes.
Understand that.
Yeah, we're already paying the tax.
You're paying. So I'm not sure, I understand what those I don't know, and that's fine, what a district would do. I personally feel, just understanding how expensive equipment is, and you guys certainly know at the county level when I come, nothing's getting cheaper. I know repairs, it's, $2,000 now just to do a full service on a new tandem axle dump truck. So $10,000 to move 175 tons a year probably is a really good deal. If you offered it to me, I would take it. That's just my opinion. With guarantee that, I'm gonna have my solid waste taken care of. they can, Benson, and I'm not here to say Benson should or should not do something, or Hope should or should do, I'm just wanting to give you guys back, because I know it's a hard decision to do, in that regard. And you do have to register on transfer station. So there are currently, we are registered, all the transfer stations in the county are registered. They're not, I can't think of the word, but they're registered, and I report all the recyclables and solid waste to the DEC every year, for every transfer station. We also, just so you all should know, the county completely manages the cost for recycling. Now, recycling is, there used to be money in recycling, that's long gone. Costs the county $50 a ton. They don't push, we do not put that back. No town is charged for that. It's all done through the county solid waste recycling system. Tires, they have to, we truck them to Buffalo, because we have to take them through a DEC certified tire disposal system. That's at $50 a ton, and that is not passed on to the towns either. That's a county takes on all that. Electronics, all the, we come pick them up from where you guys all recycle, we bundle them and then we ship them out. County does all that. So, just so you're all understanding, it's, you know, when you're paying under $80 a ton for solid waste, you're doing pretty good. The alternative is, and I've said this at the county level, is to go to pay as you throw, like everybody else in the state does, basically. Is when you go to the transfer station, you pay for what you're throwing away. It's pretty nice that you don't have to do that. And I hope we don't have to go that direction, honestly. I hope not. But, you know, like I said, I'm just here for information to help both of you guys make the best decision as you can. And, you know, if you think I'm all wet, tell me to leave, that's fine. No worries. But, you know, I'd be happy to, you know, help any way I can.
Tracy, would you be open to answering any questions? If anybody has any questions here tonight?
If I can answer them, sure.
Does anybody have any questions for Tracy while he's here?
Are there any other towns in the county that share services like we do?
Yes and no, I mean, different ways. They don't share a transfer station because basically logistics, they're not as close as you and Benson are. For example, obviously Wells has a transfer station, Inlet has a transfer station, Rapid Lake has two because of her, Long Lake and Rapid have two because that's in the town of Long Lake. And then the two county transfer stations, so, but yeah, we share, you know, different things, obviously, just like all the towns do. We try to share as much as we can.
Anyone else?
Is the transfer station registered purely because of tonnage?
No, I believe it's because it's state law that they're registered. And I don't, and to be honest with you, I don't know, I've never registered one, they were all registered when I took over in 2004 as superintendent, and they were already registered when they closed all the landfills in the late 90s, and the system came about how it is now, that's when they were all registered.
Just for information purposes only, and I know it has really no bearing on anything, but I had Robin pull up the original agreement that was made between the two towns when the transfer station was closed. If anybody's interested in looking at it. And when it was even started moving forward, the town of Hope and town of Benson would have to agree on any cost over $5,000 per year moving forward. That the town of Hope would be able to increase the cost up to $5,000 without written consent by the Benson Town Board. And we've literally never done that. And what we're talking about today is literally $1,200 difference per year in the last 4 years. So I think we're well within the standards and our rights. We had every single year we've given the guys a 5% raise and even more in a couple of prior years. We've incurred all the costs that we've gone through, including the paving project up here the retaining wall last year. I don't want to be sounding a broken record, but we've gone through a lot of big expenses and haven't shared that cost with the town of Benson. So as far as being, I know Phil, you threw around the word fair. You guys want everything to be fair. If it was fair, we had figured out the numbers. Zach has literally went down line by line, figured out man hours for hauling, maintenance of the truck, insurance costs, truck repairs, dump attendant labor, split it in half, plowing. We plow and sand the roads every time it snows and we get ice up here. It's a lot of maintenance. We clean, I was talking to Tracy today, the vultures are make a mess literally every day. They screw the garbage out, so it takes hours to go up there and clean. The Frontier bill, the building and maintenance, the well inspections is $3,900. Bare fencing that we have to pay for, clean harbors, dumpster repairs. Those fair numbers are $75,237.22. That's what it cost us. Each should be $75,237.22. You guys are welcome to look at these numbers, but and we're charging you $57,394 proposed cost for 2
Cost you 75,000?
This is what it should. If we're going to be fair, that's without any of the repairs.
That's the half.
This is your half. This your half should be $75,237.22 without any of the repairs that we do every year. None of that is figured in, and we're charging you with a proposed cost of $57,394.22. So, you know, when I hear the word fair, I don't know how to get forward.
I'm not disputing that. What I think the board is looking for is like some regular invoices and statements so we know. We're just thinking,
We never asked
you just
for it.
give us a figure. We want more detail. That's what we're really asking.
So what we could do is every time we pay something, we split it in half, and then that's gonna make the contract more.
Every year would be much more. Yes.
I just got Scott Shepherd, Town of Benson, councilperson. I was looking at your general revenue. This is your adopted budget, 2026 stuff. And you got 60,000, say 61,000 on there. Then when I go through the rest of it for the cost for the landfill, the refuse and garbage, you guys got budgeted in there $40,400. $100 for supplies for, then the building repair costs $1,000, then refuse and garbage miscellaneous $2,000. So you're looking at $43,500.
Well, the labor.
Now, I don't see, let's say it was $75,000, it should be for us.
Yeah.
Of that, I don't see, I see where that adds up, where we end up paying the revenue coming in for it, but I don't see where the town of Hope is charged at.
All the expenditures, a lot of them come out of highway. The highway workers are all paid out of highway.
Because it looks, when you first look at the budget, it looks like $60,000 coming in, $60,000 going out.
Tracy, you want to, the county does the same exact thing?
Yeah.
You want to touch on that, kind of?
Yeah, we operate a lot of, like, my tractor trailer drivers are all coming out of highway funds. It doesn't show up in the solid waste and recycling budget. My labor, like when we have to fill up the transfer stations, that comes out of their county highway employees that fill, because we don't have extra solid waste or recycling employees. So it all comes out of county road fund budget. So there's the highway, we try to do it that way because it's efficient, because of, you know, obviously, like Zach working or Mike or any, we all try to work together. I mean, there's shared services like that, you know, like, but when I have a contract with you guys, for example, to plow the county roads like I do with Benson, we pay you. That's not considered a shared service. If you get paid, I don't want you to lose your shirts or anything like that. You're doing a service for the county, both of you. We contract out, for example, snow and ice, we contract out about half our mileage to the towns. So but then, you know, shared services like I send down an excavator for Zach and I let him use it, and I don't bill him rental, or I go paving for somebody and I send trucks, and we share that way. Some things are contractual, like you say, it's very difficult to call that a shared service, but it makes sense to do it. You have to bill for certain things.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah, I was just, in, like the roll-off truck, that's kind of, do you use it for anything else? So that should be probably built into the budget here underneath that. I know you probably got underneath their, general fund for that.
We didn't have enough money in our general fund, they're supposed to have, but we took.
We took $76,000 or $78,000 out of the highway fund, out of my fund balance to pay for half the truck
Right.
when we purchased it.
But if you budget that into your refuse, I mean, it's just
Right.
for revenue coming in for it and
Right.
what you gotta pay out. And it kind of looks like you
Yeah.
pay that.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, so a lot of the expenses, when the guys go up there and mow, when they go up there and haul garbage, when they go, the fuel that comes out will come out of the highway budget, a lot of it, so.
All the fuel comes out of
All
the
of
highway
it.
budget, yeah.
So none of that's shown in the general fund budget, so. It should be different, maybe, but it's very difficult, so. We got employees working sometimes for the general fund, and sometimes working for the highway department, and it's almost impossible to track it.
The charge back and forth in those funds is very difficult, very time consuming, and it ends up not being worthwhile to do. We're having some of the same issues at the county level, as far as making sure everybody feels each budget is fair to each department.
Sure. So, yeah, we're definitely here to listen tonight to anything you guys want to talk about. Like I said before, we're getting into budget time, so we wanted to present something. And I also have to think about, like, maybe you guys need some options. So is it an option to bring your backhoe up and load your trucks? I haven't heard anything from you guys. I don't even know if you're planning on using our facility for sand and salt this year. And I think probably Tracy's gonna need to know that very soon, because they're ordering salt for the county side. So, kind of see what direction we're headed. We like to get started on the budgets very, very soon. But this, and I'm sure you guys want to as well, this will all play into what we're doing, so, moving forward. Yeah, Dave.
Yeah, is there a legally approved area in Benson for sand and salt storage? In which case, if there isn't,
Yeah.
we have to keep it at home. I don't know, I don't think there is, but maybe there is.
Not at this time, we have to build something.
Remember that conversation many years ago?
think-
Yeah.
I think we'd like to have two separate contracts, one for the transfer station and one for the facility.
Of course, yeah, it's okay. I mean, it basically is two, Phil. You're the one
Well,
that
it's all
asked me.
lumped up into one.
Because you asked for that, to be honest with you. You asked to have it all in one. You're the one that asked for this, so but listen, it's all broken. That's the transfer station. And this is the sand and salt.
Yeah, but we're
Completely
saying
separate.
we're
You
not-
write one check, and that's because you want
We're
to.
signing one contract for transfer station.
We don't have a contract for this, Phil.
And one for the salt.
We don't have a contract. We never had for the sand and salt. We tell you what.
You
from
can't
day-
separate and make two contracts?
Here.
Well, why do you want two contracts? I guess that's what we're not understanding, right?
Well, if we wanna stay with the transfer station, and then later on, we wanna be able to build our own facility.
There are
for sand and
separate,
salt.
I don't understand what you're asking for. There are two separate things. You write one check, that's on you. If you're combining them, when you write us a check once a year, you're writing one, you're having the county write us one check. Right, am I wrong or right?
No, I just,
Just have to write two different checks now.
If you wanna write two different checks, yeah, okay. I don't know.
So, and I guess we need to put a time frame on whether you guys are deciding to go with this.
Yeah.
Because we need to know, because we need to start budgeting.
One thing, I can speak for myself, but if you guys were unhappy, perhaps maybe you should have come up here and talked to us beforehand, before you went and bought a new truck. We hear about a used truck secondhand. We would have, if you're unhappy with what we're charging you, perhaps somebody should have told us that
Well,
beforehand.
we're looking at saving the taxpayers money in Benson, and I definitely.
It's your
feel-
job, right.
I definitely feel like we could do that.
Hey, quick question.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of Benson's garbage is in the landfill up there, right, underground? Is there something like saying they're responsible for testing, you know, what I mean, for?
Yeah, there's testing, well testing that.
Yep.
There's a lot of stuff in the ground up there, there's stuff with,
Some costs.
there's cost of that, I would imagine.
Yeah, the well testing is a big cost, $7,800 that we do for every single year.
How much is it?
7,800. It fluctuates. 1 year it's 7,800. We get a bill, and the next year 7,900. It depends on
I don't think it'd be something they could just leave us with.
they are regulated to do different testing each year. So if they have to do this set of testing this year, they charge us accordingly. The following year, if they need to do a different set of testing, they charge us accordingly. But on average, it's around 7,800.
I think what Doug Road is looking for is just more detail to that stuff.
More detail than everything that's broken down.
I think you want all of our bills, that's what you're saying.
Well, I think the board is interested, like, just like you said, $700 to $800. We don't know how much it is.
Actually, it says right in on here, 3,900 for Benson's half.
Right, but we don't know what the total is, you know what I'm saying?
I said that too.
That's all we were asking.
I mean, but is that, do you want our receipts? Is that what you're asking? And
Well, we
in the
just wanted
end,
more, I think Lori and everybody here just wanted more detail.
do they have this?
But we really don't. We just see a contract with certain stuff.
That one right
And I
now.
think everybody just wanted more detail.
So give them a copy of that, I'll share mine with them.
Yeah. You guys want, this is what we're looking at. You guys want-
That is the whole print of what we're looking at.
That's your totals.
Those are the
Those are the halves.
The
right?
halves?
Yeah.
halves.
Is that the same as on the contract? Okay.
Those are a lot less.
But on the flip side too, if we're not here, say Benson was here, you still have to plow and sand, and it's not like
Of course.
all of that cost is,
You want it for nothing.
no, not saying that. I'm just saying that you guys have that cost.
Oh, yeah, I mean, if you guys decide.
I'm not
how
saying that we
we're
shouldn't
gonna
have a
have
fair
all
share, I'm just saying if we weren't here, you guys would be in your budget liable for that.
Absolutely.
And where I was looking in your budget, where I can't find it, but you got it built in either in your truck maintenance or the cost of fuel. It's not broken down just for landfill.
No, it couldn't because.
And what we were trying to do is to have a cost on what the landfill really is, because you threw out a figure of 200,000.
Who did?
Yeah, the last meeting.
Basically what it would cost, yeah.
But I just didn't see that
That's
kind of in your budget,
You also
where
won't-
it come from.
Yep, you also won't see, numbers in the budget because we don't budget a lot of times for unexpected things. Like we probably decided we like to do the paving project, but we didn't really budget for that. We used fund balance, to do that paving project. So that's not gonna be in that budget. The retaining wall was something that kind of caved in. It was a emergency situation that we had to take $17,000 or so and do that. So that, those
I
numbers.
understand that, I'm just saying, I just didn't see in the budget
Right.
for just the refuse.
Yep.
Because that's really towards the refuse.
Right. So anyone else we're kind of here, I'd like to hear from the public, that's why kind of we're all here, so, yeah, sure, John.
If I may, having been to the meetings up in Benson, recorded them, listened to them, the reason you're having such a problem interpreting what's being asked of you by Benson, in this case Supervisor Snyder, is they don't have a plan. Supervisor Snyder has no knowledge of costs across the board. After Mr. Rogers and Mr. Clemenson presented a lot of detail about the regulations, the laws, everything that goes into it, expenses, it may be more than the 200,000 you're talking about, not to mention additional things, the unknowns in the environmental laws. I know that SEQUR, S-E-Q-U-R, or whatever it is, they have no knowledge of what that is. They don't discuss it at the meetings. So you're trying to come up with solutions for a plan that doesn't exist. And as an example, when Supervisor Snyder approached you just a few minutes ago, he's got a plan. That's his plan with no details, no facts, no figures, and it's not been discussed by the board. So without a public meeting and talking in front of the public and getting the feedback from his fellow board members, it has no value. As you know, Steve, the supervisor cannot act unilaterally. You can only take action with the support of 3 of the, or at least 2 of the other board members to have a quorum. So you can debate it all day long, but if they're serious about getting out, they'll get out and face horrifying financial consequences. It will not save the town of Benson a cent. It will actually destroy them financially. And if they want to do it, let's see a plan. Let's see all the details. Let's see the consultation with the attorney for the town to understand all the regulations from the state. Let's find out, is it legal to have storage and garbage facilities located where they are now, places that are grandfathered in with certain requirements, and all those things would go away. So there's a million legal angles to this on top of everything else. So really, I think you folks have been extremely fair over the years. You've saved Benson money by not charging us for things we probably should have been charged for. And stick with what you're coming up with. It's fair, equitable. The best thing, I don't know that you're going to find many Benson residents or Hope residents that want to see Benson go out on their own. It's like helping them board the Titanic as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so that's my input.
Thanks, John. Anyone else? Yeah, sure.
I would like to piggyback on that and also say that I think it's fair of you guys to give us because you're not getting specifically any commitment or figures or timelines from Benson, nor do we as Benson residents have any. So I support you guys. You give us a time, this is just a suggestion, when these guys have to have this put together so that you can get on with your budget. You know what I mean? I respect you folks and I really appreciate your time and all the figures. And so I don't know what that is. I would respect you guys if you put a timeline on us too.
Is this a year-to-year contract?
It is. Yep.
I would think moving forward, if we're going to continue, I would think more of a long-term contract would be beneficial for both towns. I don't think a year-to-year is, for budgeting purpose, might be better for.
No, I agree. I mean, that's why we've gone 4 years, really have not done anything or made any changes. This is nothing that I want to see go away tomorrow or next year or in 10 years. I feel like this is the best for both towns. A good way to save money for both towns. You know, as much as I also feel it doesn't make much sense of the 2 towns buying a whole bunch of big $400,000 contracts. It's just my opinion. I feel like we could share and save money in a lot of things that we do, but this transfer station, I feel needs to remain in place for eternity. Yeah,
Just 2 food for thought for both towns in what we're facing. So, as John mentioned, that's a seeker, it's a State Environmental Quality Review Act. They do have to go through, not saying you couldn't do it, it's just, that's a hoop you gotta jump through. But also, the county is going to be entering into a negotiation year next year, to 27 with Fulton County. Because we currently have a 5-year contract, so we'll be in year 4. So it'll be time to start negotiating with them. And who knows what, I mean, with diesel and fuel, everything going crazy through the roof, I don't know what to expect. So
there's other forces at play.
there's a lot of, unfortunately, there's a lot of, very lot of unknowns, with a lot of things. I mean, hopefully it doesn't, look as bad as it might look. But that just food for thought for both, towns.
Do you have a date, like your meeting that you making announced?
Yesterday.
You what?
Yesterday. We literally are, Monday, normally, this coming Monday is our next meeting, this is when we start our budget. It's very late, in my opinion, very late to be making changes, but, yeah.
Yeah, I talked briefly with Mike Palmer this morning regarding the loader and running it over the road and how it's eating up the tires on it. And probably we should buy a trailer to move it. He expressed his concerns about having qualified people to drive it once it was loaded, which is true. But as far as moving our loader up here to load sand and salt, then back and up and back, that doesn't seem like a viable plan to me. Where using your loader or the loader that we're invested in is a plan that works. And I think Hope has come up with a fair price, a fair amount that Benson should probably agree to, at least for 2027, and come up with a better bookkeeping method, if that's possible. And I don't know exactly what that would be, but that seems to be the main driver of Benson's concerns. Bookkeeping, so forth. I call it bookkeeping.
Just to that point, we have to plan, almost every single meeting we discuss, how we're moving forward with equipment. Planning, almost every single meeting asks that, what's next? What are we gonna buy next? What are we saving for? Diana always asks, all of us are looking for what's next. So in a lot of these discussions, we talk about the loader is one of the most expensive pieces of equipment we have. And by having both towns use that loader, it gets used nonstop all winter long, sitting in the sand, in and out of sand and salt, in the freezing temperatures, not being stored inside a building where it really should be, because we're using it nonstop, hardly ever shuts off. So when we think about it's getting used twice as much as we should be using it, we think that it should be an expense tied to that. So that's how we feel moving forward that we're gonna have to, we've been burnt already with the truck. A few years ago, we were burnt with paying half the truck. We had to eat that cost ourselves. So we're thinking that we're gonna have to do this again fairly soon with a loader after just paying $20-some thousand in repairs this year. So having us knowing that loader is getting used twice as much as it would be if only we were using it, and potentially lasting twice as long only if we were using it. We have to think about our residents, and I feel like we're thinking about it in a fair way of what it would really cost to replace that piece of equipment. The same as we're doing with the truck. It's a $146,000 truck. The last truck lasted how many years?
17 to 22.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah, it's 5 years.
5 years. We got
5 years out of that.
We don't know. But we also do know that if something happens, we have to pay for it. So we have to plan accordingly. So sometimes it costs money to do that. So I don't know how to move forward at this point. I think the ball's in your court. Like I said, I think it was a great idea. We do need to know within a certain time frame of for budget. September 1st for budget reasons. Like I said when we started the meeting tonight, I really do want to see this move forward in a positive way in both towns. I don't see any reason why we can't work together. We just got to work out these logistics and if you guys want to keep the sand and salt separate. We never wanted it or asked for you guys to be here for sand and salt or our fuel. We have 2 tanks down there. we drive to Northville to get gas because you guys are using one of our fuel tanks. We would love to use that little tank for gas. We wouldn't have to go to Northville every single time to get gas, but we don't. We allow you guys to use it. So I feel like we are compromising. I think we're being very fair in almost everything that in everything that we do. We also feel like this should be a partnership. So we'll move forward in that fashion.
I think you're right, it should be a partnership, and I think you are being fair. And with all this stuff that we want to change and do, we know how the weather is up here. It's already too late this year, even to try to do something like that, as far as I'm concerned. It changes so fast. You'll be ready into October, and the storm's coming. But I think you're being fair. I just support you guys doing that.
And I agree.
I also.
Anybody? Diane, anything? Jen?
No, I don't.
Mark?
No, I think we're just waiting on that.
Really? Let's keep
Hoping it works out. We're all neighbors, we're all trying to work out.
No, thanks for bringing everything to light.
We appreciate, I really wish we could do this more often. I mean, I think this would solve a lot of issues, and I really feel like and I know some people don't want to hear this, but it pays for our highway departments to work together. So I feel like anything that we can do in helping that, see that through, I think would help all of us as a whole, so.
Pays not to let them fester.
Yes.
Helps if we know about these things.
Yeah. Ryan, we came late, I think, appreciate you coming.
I'm sorry, I'm late. Craziness.
Yeah.
That's okay, I was late too, so.
I thought you're supposed to be retired now.
Yeah. I mean, I would just like to say, I don't want you guys to feel like we don't appreciate it. And I know it's a chemistry. I mean, I feel like chemistry is good, but maybe, I think we were just looking to see if there's any better option for Benson. Not that it was bad for both, just we're looking for, like everybody's scraping these moments, make things a little, everything's expensive. And it's not getting any cheaper in a hurry.
Absolutely.
But the key thing is everybody got to work together.
Absolutely.
So we're blindsided with something that we don't know what's going on. This is the only way that we can figure it out if we talk together.
Absolutely.
When we were here last time, looking at that, I think I could have completely misinterpreted it. When you asked us if we plan on doing anything ourselves, or we just plan on, I felt like, not that it was like misinterpretation, but I felt like you didn't want us to continue this.
No,
So it must have been,
Yeah, no, I remember the conversation quite clear.
Yeah, you said that you plan on continuing here, or you do something on your own, so we might, misinterpret some of that.
Yeah, I was there when this all started,
Yeah.
you weren't there.
Right.
So I remember when this started, this was a temporary fix.
Okay.
You guys had an issue at the old town barn with the fuel and with the sand and salt. I don't know if it's leaking the neighbors or
Yeah.
whatever that was, but there was an emergency situation you guys had, and we helped you guys out at the town hall and let you bring your sand and salt here. So that's kind of where we're at. Like, is this still like an emergency situation, or are you moving forward? We have no problem with it. We just need to work out the logistics of it. Like this loader, this is the logistics of it right here. This loader is a really expensive piece of equipment. It gets used a lot more than we would use it ourselves, and it's going to cost money to replace it and fix it.
$250,000.
$250,000. It's literally a third of our entire budget for the year to replace that loader. So I just talked about the truck. I mean, a $400,000 truck is over half of our entire budget. Like, how do towns even afford it anymore?
I don't think you're unreasonable to ask for that. If you're gonna rent a loader, to ask for 50%. That makes a lot of sense what you just said in terms of what you're spending for a loader or a piece of equipment. That if it's being used by Benson, it should also be paid for by Benson, in my opinion.
That's really the only
So,
So it's the only way to do it,
It's-
realistically.
So the loader price too, so $14,000 isn't half of renting a loader. So $14,000 also includes the maintenance on it during those 6 months and the fuel. So it's really a third of what the cost would be for running the loader for 6 months. The bid tabulations, like I said, I think is around $5,600 to rent a loader this size.
So 3.5 yards, is that what it is, or 4 yards?
It's a 2.5 yard bucket, but it's a 40,000 pound loader. So going off from the bid tabulations from the county, say $5,600. I don't know the exact number. 6 months, it's over $30,000, and we're asking less than that. If you think just $30,000, that's $15,000, not including fuel or including the maintenance or some oil and an oil change. That's some money right there just in oil. We grease it all winter long to try and find all the pins. We just had to replace the pin this year because it sits in the salt all the time. So really, $14,000 doesn't even cover half the cost of what it would be to rent a loader. I mean, if you greased it and did an oil change on it. The fuel alone is expensive.
Anybody else? We're here. I appreciate everybody coming. Unless anybody else has anything, we'll look forward to hearing from you guys, and you can reach out to us and let us know what the plan is. And we'd like to get moving on our budget for your. Tracy, anything else? I personally, I know the board really appreciates you coming down.
Anytime, I'd be happy to come really anytime. I don't want to come back, but I try to make rounds around the county every couple of years, just if there's any issues or anything like that, and I'm glad to help. I'll do anything for the town of Benson. I'll do anything for the town. I'll do anything for the town, any of the towns in this county. That's never the county board of supervisors has always prided themselves. This county shares like no other in the state, honestly. When you see DOT trucks on local roads, it's amazing. That doesn't happen in other parts of the state. That's a great credit to all the town highway superintendents, the county, and all the town boards and the county board to make that happen, because we're all little governments that struggle with costs going through the roof. It's really, and as I said, we are very lucky, and I know Phil, and you've heard me say it at the county level, when we did the solid waste management plan, most counties, if they're running, or town transfer stations, they're only open 2 or 3 days a week. We have transfer station, our Lake Pleasant is open 6 days a week. Indian Lake is 5. Inlet is open 7 days a week for residents to offload at no cost, really. No questions. Make sure that you're from Benson, or make sure you're from Hope, or make sure you're from Indian Lake. That doesn't happen anyplace else in the state. It's very, very unique. And I think overall it works pretty well. No one's even close to paying over $100 a ton for solid waste in this county, which is a good price. No one wants to pay anything for solid waste, but the fact is, we don't make up the rules that require us to do what we've got to do. When I complain to Steve or to Phil, hey, you got recyclables in your loads. You can't, because I get fined at Fulton County. Fulton County didn't make up the rules. We've all got to try to operate. When we used to haul Rodman for 20 years, they would take arbitrary loads coming into that facility, and they would pull it aside, and we would eject the load out, and they would go through that. 2 men would go through that, and then I would get a report on what that load consisted of, how much recyclables, how much fiber, how much this, and then they would determine a fine on if we were not following the rules. So all this costs money. To be honest, it costs a lot of money.
Tracy, do you have hard numbers that you gave us tonight, the averages of loads for Benson and for Hope?
Yeah, per year cost, per year tons.
In the last, what are they projected for the last 5 years or more?
So that was.
And they're fairly, very
So
close.
these are numbers. So 2021, Benson was 136.59 tons. 2022 was 196.03 tons. 2023 was 153.88. 2024 was 176.29. And in 2025 is 174 even, and that average is 167.36 tons. Now Hope, you were at 251.82 in 2021. 2022, 216.84 tons. 2023 was 240.48. 2024 was 251.66. In 2025, 303.73. And your average was 250, for that 5-year average is 252.06.
Both towns are pretty consistent.
Pretty consistent across the county. We, back in like 06, 07, we actually were hauling around 7,300 tons of solid waste to Dank in Jefferson County. We've cut about 1,300 tons out of our waste stream by our recycling. So we're done, but we're staying right there. Indian Lake and Long Lake are the big ton use. They're the towns, 2 towns. The Indian Lake shipping fees over $100,000 a year, right? And Long Lake's right there, just behind them. So it's like this, and then it's super busy, obviously, when May comes through October and it's flat.
Wintertime, yeah, pretty much.
And there are regulations on how long solid waste can sit. Because obviously, believe it or not, I always say, well, it's not a load of milk, it's not gonna go bad, but it does go bad. It's out garbage, so. But, anyway, because it becomes disgusting soup. And I won't get into details.
It's nasty up here.
It's nasty.
It's a nasty job. It's nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've told Steve and Phil both many times over the years, you guys want solid waste, I'd be happy to give it to y'all. I'd be happy.
We do appreciate everything the county does for us.
No,
we don't.
We're all in the same. We are all in the same boat.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not always equal, but typically it evens out over the years. You know, that's the way. Look, and I never expect equal back. I understand we're the bigger entity.
Yeah.
You know, we always, as a board, you know, I move equipment for whoever, whatever town, for no cost to get your trucks repaired. That we do without a second. And I will, you know, I will continue to do that. My time's growing short, but so. But anyway.
So you'd like us to put on record tonight that the county will take over our transfer station? Is that what we just heard?
No, absolutely. No.
Dave, I see you back there. Yeah.
Tracy, do any towns or does the county have a different rate for commercial enterprises versus civil?
No, we have so little commercial. That's a good, Dave, that's a good point too. So just because there's a lot of misnomers. We pay the same rate for, it's municipal solid waste in Fulton County, and that includes C&D. So C&D is not a different rate. It's all considered mixed solid waste. When I do the reports, the C&D is included in those tons.
And that's another thing that would have to be adjusted if we went to this district where each person pays taxes or so forth. A commercial enterprise could generate a lot of solid waste, garbage mainly, versus a homeowner. And that would have to be figured out to be fair. And I know that's not in your cards, but I know somebody in Benson brought that up, asked a question about a commercial enterprise.
Sure. Anyone else? I know we appreciate this board, you guys coming. I think we're moving the step in the right direction, and hopefully we can come together and come to an agreement and put this behind us and move forward. So, you guys have anything else? We'll take a motion to adjourn, I guess.
I'll make the motion.
Actually,
No.
yeah, we have to go into executive session, to talk about an employee. You guys can stick around or you don't have to. But we need a motion to go on. I want to thank everybody for coming. Thank you.
Good seeing you.